On a night filled with a howling wind, a woman struggles through the pains of labor inside a small, dimly lit room. Two midwives attend to her. One midwife informs the mother that there is another child still inside her, confirming that she is giving birth to twins. The midwife warns the mother that she must not give birth yet. The other midwife is shocked, telling the older woman that her request is absurd and impossible to follow. However, the granny is insistent, believing that even if it seems crazy, the birth must be delayed until the proper moment. She explains the gravity of the situation, stating that these children are destined to command the powerful beings known as demons in the future. As the sun finally rises the next morning, two infants are placed together in a single basket. A man looks down at them, noting that children who divide the very concepts of night and day have finally been brought into the world. 16 years pass, and the world of the village remains isolated and quiet. Deep within the forest, a young man named Yuru observes the sky, noting the perfect trails of what he calls dragon gas lingering in the air. Once he finishes his hunt, he makes his way back toward his home. He is met at the entrance of the village by a young man named Danji, who looks quite frustrated. Danji scolds Yuru, asking why he went out hunting all by himself again without inviting him along. He worries aloud about what might happen if Yuru were to get hurt, or run into trouble in the mountains where no one could hear him call for help. Yuru tells Danji that everything is fine, explaining that the entities he calls the left and the right will always protect him. As they walk further into the village, other residents greet Yuru warmly. Yuru eventually arrives at his own house and announces his return to Granny Yamaha. She welcomes him home, while another woman named Kyuka tells Danji that he arrived at the perfect time to help with the household tasks. Danji groans in annoyance at his mother's timing, but Kyuka tells him he should try to be more hardworking and diligent like Yuru. Ignoring the bickering, Yuru asks Granny Yamaha how his sister Asa is doing. The old woman assures him that Asa is fine and is busy working as usual. Yuru enters a specific part of the house where a young girl is kept inside a wooden cell. He greets her softly, and Asa welcomes her brother back with a smile. He tells her about the pheasant he caught, though he admits he was hoping for a larger animal like a deer or a boar. He expresses his worry about the crops because the year has been so dry, fearing they might run out of food during the winter. Asa asks if the adults will have to leave the village to find work down the mountain, and Yuru admits it is a possibility. When she asks if he will leave too, Yuru firmly tells her no. He promises her that he will never abandon the village or leave her behind like their parents did, vowing to stay and protect her as long as she is there. Later, Kyuka interrupts to tell Yuru that a man named Dara has arrived. Dara is a traveling merchant, and many villagers gather around him as he displays his goods. The villagers thank him for his service and ask about the state of the world below the mountain. Dara explains that times are difficult and that a sickness is spreading through the lowlands. Yuru approaches Dara, who greets him kindly and asks if there is anything he wants for himself. When Yuru says he does not need anything, Dara smiles, knowing Yuru is actually looking for something he can give to Asa. Dara hands him a small gift, and Yuru thanks him for the thoughtful gesture. After the merchant leaves, Yuru and Danji work together in the fields. Danji gazes out toward the horizon, expressing how lucky the people who leave the village are. He admits he wishes he could see the outside world for himself. Yuru questions if the world below is really as nice as Danji thinks it is. Danji points out that almost no one ever returns once they leave, which leads him to believe it must be a wonderful place. Yuru disagrees, saying he would be perfectly happy living in the village for the rest of his life. Danji teases him, saying that is only because he has a cute sister to look after. He suggests that Yuru should take Asa and leave the village together, even offering to go with them if they feel nervous. Yuru shuts the idea down, joking that Danji would only be a bad influence on his sister. He reminds Danji that Asa has a very important duty to perform, which is why she stays hidden. Danji complains that he has never even seen her, but Yuru tells him that only specific people are allowed to visit her, and that a clumsy person like Danji will never get the chance. Suddenly, a strange sound echoes through the air. Danji asks what the noise is, and Yuru points to the sky, noting the trails of gas again. He assumes it is a dragon, mentioning that he has heard similar roars while hunting deep in the mountains. Danji asks if Yuru has ever actually seen a dragon before. Yuru admits he hasn't. As they look up, they realize the noise isn't coming from a mythical creature. Instead, a large airplane flies overhead, followed by several helicopters that descend toward the village. The villagers are paralyzed with shock as soldiers emerge from the aircraft and immediately begin a violent attack, shooting down everyone in sight. Granny Yamaha realizes with horror that the protective barrier around the village has been broken. She does not know how it happened, but she is certain the invaders are there to find Yuru. She orders the survivors to hide him and bring him to her immediately. Donji stares at the carnage in disbelief, seeing his neighbors lying dead on the ground. Yuru tells Donji to stay close as they navigate the chaos. Donji cries out for his mother, hoping she is still alive. When they encounter soldiers, Yuru uses his bow and arrows to take them down before they can fire their strange, lethal weapons. Donji hopes his mother is safe at the village keep, and Yuru agrees they must go there to find Asa. Yuru leads Donji to a pile of rocks and reveals a secret entrance to a shortcut that leads directly to the keep. Donji is surprised he never knew it existed. Yuru mutters to himself that the left and the right will protect them, praying that Asa is safe. Meanwhile, a girl named Gabby moves through the village alongside the soldiers. She has a chillingly cheerful demeanor. Every time she says the word gobble, her unseen power gorily slices people into pieces. She shows no mercy to the adults, though she tells a sobbing child that she does not bite kids. Gabby uses a phone to report that the outer and middle areas of the village are secure and tells the ground forces to move up. However, Dara has already intercepted and killed the soldiers she was trying to reach. Dara makes his own phone call to a woman named Hana, reporting that the situation is bad and the barrier is gone. He asks if she can see the smoke and suggests changing their meeting point. He notes with concern that someone named Asa is already there. In the village keep, an adult woman who also goes by the name Asa drags Granny Yamaha toward the cell where the young Asa is kept. The adult woman looks at the child and calls the situation disgusting before using an invisible power to kill the young girl instantly. Yuru arrives moments later and is struck with absolute horror at the sight of his sister's body. The adult woman turns to him and confirms that she is the real Asa, his sister. She tells him she has come to get him and that she intends to kill everyone else in the village. Yuru is overwhelmed and confused, shouting that she cannot be his sister and refusing to believe her words. Elsewhere, Dara notices Gabby standing nearby with a floating, monstrous mouth covered in eyes. Gabby is impressed that a normal man can perceive her companion. She asks him if he was the one who killed the ground forces, but Dara responds by throwing a grenade at her to create a distraction. Back at the keep, the adult Asa tries to talk to Yuru. Suddenly, the gift that Dara gave Yuru, which had been touched by the blood of the deceased young Asa, activates. A monster emerges from it and wraps itself around the adult Asa, trapping her. Dara arrives and tells Yuru to run with him to the world below the mountain. As they flee, Donji finds his mother alive, much to his relief. Dara leads Yuru back through the shortcut, but Yuru is in a state of shock. He asks what is happening and why everyone is being killed. Dara tells him there is no time to explain and urges him to use the left and the right. Yuru is confused, not knowing how to use them as if they were tools. Dara hands Yuru a collar with a green amulet and points to a hole in the stone floor located between two large statues. He screams at Yuru to put the amulet in the hole. As soldiers in a helicopter spot Yuru and prepare to capture him, Yuru finally manages to plug the amulet into the stone. Dara then shoves Yuru's head down toward the amulet, causing Yuru's blood to spill onto it. A blinding light erupts from the amulet, and two massive yellow creatures manifest in the air, instantly tearing through the helicopters and causing them to crash. Gabby watches from a distance, annoyed that her ride home has been destroyed. Two large, human-like figures then materialize in front of Yuru, a man and a woman. The man mocks the fact that their new master is just a child, suggesting he will be easy to control. The woman, however, reminds him that his age is irrelevant and that they must obey him. Dara explains to the stunned Yuru that these beings are known by many names: ghosts, spirits, or monsters, but in this context, they are his demons. He introduces them as his pairs, the protectors he has always known as the left and the right. As he hears this, a memory surfaces in the back of Yuru's mind, pulling him back to a time when he was much younger. In this memory, his father, Mine, leads him through a dark, hidden corridor. Yuru asks what the place is, and his father explains that it is a secret passageway connecting the bases of the left and right to the village keep. He warns his son to keep the secret and only use the path when absolutely necessary. Most importantly, he tells Yuru that the left and right are always watching over him from their positions at the village exit. Back in the present, the two massive figures standing before Yuru confirm his father's words. The one known as Right speaks first, admitting they have been watching Yuru this whole time. The woman, Left, formally announces that they are now his demons. Yuru is stunned, realizing that these two beings are the legendary protectors of his home. Dara steps forward and greets the two powerful beings with a polite tone. Right recognizes him immediately, identifying him as a demon retainer. Left adds that they have been keeping an eye on him as well. Curious about the metal machines that fell from the sky, Right asks what those birds were. Dara explains that they are vehicles from the modern world below the mountain, but he quickly shifts the conversation to the immediate danger. He tells the demons that there isn't time for small talk because at least 2 major threats have appeared. He asks for their help in getting Yuru down the mountain safely and quickly. However, the demons do not take orders from Dara. Right bluntly tells him that he is not their master, and Left reiterates that they only obey Yuru. Nearby, Gabby watches the new arrivals with interest. She realizes that these new demons look incredibly strong and wonders if they belong to Dara. Yuru, meanwhile, is horrified by the sight of the creature accompanying Gabby, which he describes as a tooth monster. Gabby realizes Yuru is indeed Asa's brother and invites him to come with her. Yuru asks if her group is responsible for the deaths of the villagers. When Gabby confirms that they are, the atmosphere turns cold. Right tells Yuru to give the word, promising to do whatever he commands. Yuru hesitates, explaining that he views them as the village's guardian deities and feels it is wrong to give them orders. Instead, he makes 2 specific requests. First, he asks them to find any survivors and take them to a safe place. Second, he declares that Gabby is his opponent and tells the demons not to touch her. Aside from those 2 things, he tells them they can do as they please. Right is pleased with this arrangement, noting that their new master is very hands-off. Back at the keep, the adult Asa finally breaks free from the monster that was restraining her. She looks at Granny Yamaha and vows that she will never forgive the old woman for what has been done. True to his word, Right begins his mission to save the villagers. He gathers the surviving children into a house, noting that while the invaders showed no mercy to the adults, they at least left the children alone. Suddenly, adult Asa appears before him. Right notices that she can clearly see him and prepares for a fight when she attacks. He remarks on the dangerous nature of her power, but before the battle can escalate, Asa simply turns and leaves without a word. Meanwhile, Gabby is struggling to defend herself against Left, and Yuru manages to land 2 arrows in her. Asa arrives just in time to help her companion, and Gabby thanks her. Yuru draws his bow again, demanding to know who this woman really is. Asa insists once more that she is his sister. Yuru calls her a liar, arguing that his sister is much smaller. Asa explains that she grew more because the world below has better nutrition. Yuru then argues that his sister doesn't have such a harsh glare, but Asa tells him she has been through many hardships that have made her jaded. Right joins the group, sensing the tension. He tells them it isn't right for family members to fight, revealing that Asa's blood smells exactly like Yuru's. He confirms they are truly siblings. Yuru is thrown into a state of total confusion, asking who the Asa in the keep was if this woman is real. Asa reveals the dark truth. The girl in the keep was an imposter. 10 years ago, after their parents fled the village with the real Asa, the elders feared Yuru would eventually follow them. To ensure he stayed, they created a fake sister for him to look after. They knew Yuru was a caring brother who would never leave as long as he thought his sister was still in the village. As she speaks, the imposter Asa in the keep begins to stir and rise again, a hollow shell of a person. Dara suddenly reaches out and grabs the arrow Yuru is about to fire. He suggests that now that they have had their reunion, it is time for Asa and Gabby to leave. Yuru is surprised, but Dara explains that Yuru is the one the invaders want. He points out that they don't know what the real Asa is capable of yet, and that staying will only lead to more death and destruction in the village. Yuru looks at the 2 women and tells them he will let Gabby go if they promise not to hurt any more villagers. Asa agrees to the terms and prepares to withdraw. As they walk away, Gabby asks why they aren't capturing him. Asa explains that Gabby's wounds are serious and need to be tended to, and she is satisfied just knowing for certain that her brother is alive. Asa begins to cry tears of relief, repeating over and over that her brother is truly alive. As they descend the mountain, Gabby notices the protective barrier around the village is beginning to return. Farther down the mountain, Dara looks back and realizes the village has completely disappeared from sight, tucked away behind the barrier once more. Yuru asks if they can ever go back, but Dara tells him there is no point. Since someone who knew the secret broke the barrier to find him, the village is no longer a safe hiding place. He tells Yuru they must now blend in with the people in the world below. They reach a waiting car where a woman named Hana is parked. She is a fellow demon retainer and is shocked to see that Dara has brought not just a human, but 2 demons with him. Dara apologizes and tells her to get them out of there as quickly as possible. He introduces Yuru as one of the special twins and identifies the left and right. The demons are fascinated by the car, which they describe as a hunk of metal. Hana introduces herself to Yuru, and Dara asks the demons if they sense any other wielders nearby. When they say the area is clear, Dara tells Hana to head toward a crowded area to hide their tracks. Yuru is hesitant to step inside the bizarre contraption. Dara tries to explain what an automobile is, but Hana simplifies it by telling the demons there are horses inside that make it go fast. The demons and Yuru seem to accept this explanation, leaving Dara amazed at how easily they were convinced. On another part of the mountain, a man named Jin arrives to pick up Gabby and Asa. He notes that they seem to have run into significant trouble, and mentions hearing that new demons appeared. He wonders if he should have come along from the start. He orders his men to put Gabby on a stretcher. Despite having an arrowhead in her shoulder and a through-and-through wound in her leg, Gabby talks about her injuries as if they are minor inconveniences. Jin is concerned, but Gabby insists she is used to the pain. Jin asks about Yuru, and Gabby confirms that he escaped down the mountain. Jin is surprised they didn't run into him, even though they had secured all the trailheads. His men suggest Yuru might have found another way down. Jin laments the loss of the helicopters and soldiers, knowing their leader, whom he calls the Old Man, will be angry. Gabby mentions that Yuru fled with a man named Dara. When Jin hears the name, he realizes Dara is a member of the Tadera family. He regrets not bringing his own demons, realizing they underestimated the opposition by choosing a day when a Tadera retainer was present. In the car, Dara recaps the events for Hana, explaining how they released the left and right and took down the enemy forces. Hana is worried when she hears the Kagomori family is involved, knowing they are a dangerous group. Dara realizes he will have to change his appearance and move to a new location now that they know his face. Suddenly, Left senses other demons approaching. Hana panics, thinking they are being followed, but Left tells her not to worry. She explains that the approaching spirits are old friends. A powerful demon known as Oshira appears, riding a flying spirit horse. Oshira greets the Left and Right, asking if they have finally found a new master after 400 years. Right introduces Yuru as one of the twins who divides night and day. Oshira acknowledges that Yuru's path will not be an easy one, and wishes them safe travels. Dara and Hana are awestruck, having never seen a god-tier demon like Oshira in person. As they continue their drive, Hana and Dara explain the different types of demons to Yuru. They describe how humans categorize them as gods, spirits, or combat types. Some, like Oshira, live peacefully with humans, while others bring luck or even encourage crime. Dara notes that the tooth monster that attacked them was likely a combat pair that could even turn on its master if it wasn't satisfied. Elsewhere, Asa tells Jin that she was the one who decided to let her brother go, offering to take the blame. Gabby defends her, saying she might have been captured if Asa hadn't stepped in. Jin asks if the boy's demons were really that strong. Gabby clarifies that while the demons were powerful, it was Yuru himself who was the most dangerous. She describes how he used his bow with the mind of a hunter, systematically taking away her mobility and then disabling her dominant hand. While the Kagomori faction processes the aftermath of the intense encounter, Yuru focuses on adapting to his sudden escape. Hana approaches him, handing over a bundle of fresh food and a complete change of clothes, pointing out that his traditional village attire will make him stand out far too much in the modern world below. Yuru shifts his attention to the food bundle, staring in absolute disbelief at the contents. He asks if the rice balls are made entirely of pure white rice without any millet, and expresses further shock upon discovering the wrapping is real seaweed. To a boy raised in an isolated environment, these everyday items seem like luxuries. Dara chuckles, noting that such ingredients would certainly be considered a luxury back in his hidden village. As Yuru struggles to understand how to open the plastic packaging, Hana steps in to open it for him. Taking his first bite, Yuru is instantly blown away by the incredible taste, declaring it to be the food of the gods and wishing his sister Asa could experience it too. Resting near the vehicle, Wright addresses Dara, curiously asking about their current surroundings. Dara explains that the location is a rest stop, which functions much like a modern stage station. When Dara offers to show them around inside, Wright declines, stating they prefer to stay close to Yuru. Left encourages the two humans to go eat, promising they will keep a close eye on their master. Accepting the offer, Dara invites Hana to join him inside for a meal. Inside the rest stop dining area, Hana asks Dara how much information he has actually shared with the boy. Dara admits that when he previously informed Yuru that the girl in the village was not his biological sister, the boy completely lost his mind, making it wiser to hold back the rest of the truth for now. Shifting focus to their immediate future, Hana asks if they should head back to Dara's place. Dara rejects the idea, explaining that the opposing faction now knows his face and name, forcing him to abandon his old spot. With a straight face, Dara suddenly suggests that they should get married. Hana reacts with immediate outrage, demanding to know why she would ever marry him. Dara quickly clarifies that it would merely be a fake arrangement to help them blend into society and protect Yuru. He explains that rural areas are prone to gossip regarding outsiders, making a sizable city the ideal place to hide. Hana counters by suggesting they could easily live as simple roommates. But Dara explains that landlords are far more trusting of traditional families. Hana then proposes acting as Yuru's much older sister, while Dara plays the role of a single father. Dara immediately breaks down how the neighborhood would react to a single dad, inventing potential rumors about domestic violence, cheating, or a tragic death that would draw unwanted local attention. To keep things simple, Dara decides they will stick to the story that Yuru is his biological child, and Hana is his newly wedded younger wife. Despite Hana's fierce refusal, Dara casually moves the conversation forward, asking whose surname they should use for the household. Back outside, Yuru looks up from his meal, feeling guilty for hogging all the food. He asks if the demons are experiencing hunger, but they reassure him, stating that their new master is incredibly kind, but they do not consume human food. Getting straight to the point, Yuru asks them to share everything they know about his past and his sister. Wright begins by explaining that they stood guard at the entrance of Higashi village for 400 years, meaning they only witnessed the residents who entered or left, leaving them largely ignorant of internal village affairs. However, they recall the villagers discussing the birth of twins, and after some time passed, Yuru began to appear. Yuru nods, mentioning that his very earliest memories consist of his father taking him out to teach him how to hunt. Left picks up the narrative, explaining that they almost never saw the other twin, which led them to assume she had tragically passed away from an illness shortly after birth. Everything changed roughly 10 years ago, when they witnessed Yuru's parents desperately fleeing the village with a little girl whose blood smelled exactly like his own. Yuru pieces the timeline together, realizing that the little girl grew up to become the attacker who just devastated his home. He notes that while he believed his parents abandoned both children, they actually only left him behind. This realization gives him hope, as the self-proclaimed real Asa might hold the key to finding their missing parents. Dara and Hana return to the vehicle, thanking the group for waiting. Hana explains to Yuru that due to their current circumstances, they are officially stepping in as his guardians, meaning they will take full responsibility if he gets into trouble. She also points out that he is already causing trouble by sitting directly on top of the car, where he will attract massive crowds. Yuru looks confused, pointing out that right and left have been sitting up there the entire time. Hana explains that normal humans possess no ability to see demons. Wright clarifies that only specialized demon wielders like Yuru can naturally perceive them, while Left adds that demons can choose to manifest for specific humans, though a rare few ordinary people simply happen to possess the natural sight. As the car travels down the road, Yuru questions Dara about the Kagomori clan, asking if they are also demon wielders. Dara confirms this, describing them as an absolute pain to deal with. He explains that the Kagemoris were originally a branch clan of Higashi village who chose to establish themselves in the lower world after a massive disagreement over conflicting opinions. Dara goes on to explain that a massive network of former village residents exists throughout the modern world. For a long time, whispers circulated that one of the village twins was residing directly with the Kagemori family, a rumor that has now been proven completely true. The narrative temporarily shifts to a dimly lit building at night, where a terrified girl named Aoi sprints down a corridor, desperately begging an elevator door to close faster. Just before the doors can shut completely, a man steps into the elevator, creepily asking Aoi why she is running away from him, coldly noting that he needs to get closer in order to kill her. Backed into a corner, Aoi warns him that stepping any closer means entering her territory, as her physical form suddenly shifts into a ghost-like entity. A short time later, Jin is seen making a phone call to Aoi, calmly informing her that he completely resolved the issue with her dangerous stalker. Aoi breathes a sigh of relief, praising his good work. Nearby, another woman gasps in horror as she catches sight of the monstrous demon Jin deployed to handle the threat. Jin quickly approaches, asking if she can actually see the creature before warning her to keep the secret to herself. Back at another rest stop, Dara and Hana continue their explanation to Yuru, admitting that even they have been kept in the dark about many things. Dara explains that their families have lived in the lower world for generations, simply inheriting their specific duties from their predecessors. He notes that Granny Yamaha strictly demanded two things: that no outsiders ever discover the location of Higashi village, and that the twins never fall into rival hands. Dara handles the gathering of goods and information, while Hana manages various odd jobs, admitting she has never actually set foot inside the village herself. Yuru asks what exactly he and his sister are to warrant such secrecy. Wright takes over the explanation, revealing an ancient prophecy. He explains that when a twin boy and girl are born in the eastern village on a day when day and night are perfectly equal, the entire world will be torn apart. According to their records, this phenomenon last occurred 400 years ago, resulting in a massive war that split the nation into east and west, following a previous conflict that divided it into north and south. In both historical instances, powerful demon wielders pulled the strings from the shadows. Yuru looks somber, asking if he and Asa are simply cursed children destined to plunge civilization into chaos. Wright gently corrects him, clarifying that it is not the twins who caused the destruction, but rather the greedy factions who wage war to seize their unique power. Yuru questions what kind of power they possess, noting that he feels completely ordinary. Wright explains that while he lacks power at the moment, he possesses the rare capacity to develop it, while Left points out that Asa has likely already unlocked her specific trait. Dara identifies this ability as Break, a terrifying power that allows a user to forcibly unravel or force open absolutely anything, including the most powerful spiritual barriers. Wright explains that its direct twin ability is Seal, which holds the power to forcibly close anything. Hana asks what would happen if the powers of Break and Seal were to directly collide. Dara muses it would create a paradox, noting that, as far as anyone knows, no single individual has ever held both powers simultaneously, leaving the ultimate outcome completely unknown. Yuru recalls the powerful barrier protecting his home, asking Dara how he managed to freely enter and exit the village. Dara explains an incredibly tedious hidden route must be followed precisely. Because the Tatara clan memorized it, they can bypass the barrier at will. Dara adds that Yuru's mother originally hailed from the lower world and accidentally stumbled upon this exact route, noting that lost wanderers occasionally drift into the village by pure chance. This triggers a memory for Yuru, who remembers his mother telling him that in her birthplace, his name translates directly to night, expressing her hope to one day bring Yuru, his father, and Asa to the outside world. The following day, the group walks along a modern pedestrian path. Wright marvels at how humans can obtain running water without relying on a traditional well. Left gazes at the massive apartment complexes, mistakenly assuming the towering stone structures are grand castles belonging to wealthy lords. Yuru corrects her, explaining the buildings are simply shared homes where dozens of families reside. Yuru walks quietly, acknowledging to his demons that while Dara and Hana appear to be good people, he cannot fully trust them due to their deep connections to the village's lifetime of lies. However, he notes that the aggressive woman claiming to be Asa is equally untrustworthy. He expresses his ultimate desire to confront her face to face, capture her, and force her to lead him directly to their missing parents. He asks Left and Right if they will stand by him, and Left muses that searching for someone in a completely unfamiliar world will be quite an adventure. Right laughs enthusiastically, declaring they haven't had a chance to kill time like this in 400 years. After that, the trio follows Dara and Hana into their temporary safe house. Yuru looks around the interior in absolute awe. Hana organizes the rooms, assigning Yuru a room equipped with traditional flooring. Yuru gasps at this, deeply excited because such luxuries are reserved exclusively for Asa or major ceremonies back in his isolated village. Hana smiles and introduces her own companion animals, pointing out a dog named Jiro and a cat named Kotetsu. Dara admits he has never encountered Hana's demons before, while Yuru stares in disbelief, questioning how a normal dog and cat can possibly be supernatural entities. Wright corrects his skepticism, explaining that these creatures are entirely unique and will be taking care of them. Walking over to the entrance, Hana points to the family nameplate on the door that reads Dano. She suggests using her surname for safety, since the enemy is already familiar with Dara's identity. Hana instructs Yuru to adopt the name as well, causing a confused Yuru to ask if having a family name means they belong to high nobility. Hana laughs, clarifying that everyone in the modern world possesses a surname. Meanwhile, far from the safe house, Asa sits in a wide courtyard, practicing her destructive powers. She sighs in frustration, noting that her abilities are not manifesting exactly the way she desires. An elderly man named Mori approaches to check on her progress. Asa greets her master respectfully, apologizing for continuously damaging his yard due to her poor accuracy. Mori brushes it off calmly, telling her it is perfectly fine as long as she avoids killing anyone, and encourages her to keep training. He explains they arrived to check on Gabby. Gabby smiles warmly from her bed, assuring them that she is feeling much better. Mori turns back to Asa with strict instructions, ordering her to remain confined to the safety of the mansion alongside Gabby. He warns that word of the twins leaving the mountain will inevitably draw dangerous attention, noting that certain factions within their own clan are actively plotting to capture Asa for their own selfish gains. Mori states that Jin will handle the search for Yuru. Jin admits he faces a difficult task since he has no idea what Yuru looks like. He decides to jumpstart his investigation by digging into Dara's background. As the meeting breaks up, Asa runs out to catch Jin in the hallway, offering a critical piece of advice. Yuru's demons possess an incredibly sharp sense of smell, capable of tracking anyone solely by the unique scent of their blood. Back at the safe house, Dara emerges from the bathroom feeling completely refreshed. He then asks where their young charge went. Hana explains that Yuru went out for a walk with Left and Right to inspect the local neighborhood. Dara's eyes suddenly widen as he scans the entryway, asking Hana if she knows the whereabouts of his machete. Panic sets in as Dara realizes Yuru took the weapon with him, warning that a police encounter will result in a severe weapons violation. High above the city streets, Yuru stands on a dark rooftop. He remarks on how incredible the world is, noting that the vibrant city lights make it look like the starry sky is reaching all the way to the ground. Left asks if the sheer scale of the world makes his mission feel impossible, reassuring him that if Asa is truly looking for them, their paths will inevitably cross. Yuru then shifts back to strategy, asking his guardians if they can sense other supernatural entities the same way they detected Shira back in the village. Left confirms they can, and Yuru reminds them that they also know the distinct smell of Asa's blood. Recalling Dara's warning that the Mori clan commands multiple demon wielders, Yuru proposes a plan to search for an area dense with demons that carries the scent of his own bloodline. Left and Right readily agree, urging him to prepare as they maximize their tracking sensitivity. The two stone guardians manifest their full forms, lifting Yuru into the air and taking flight into the night sky. They touch down near a quiet parking lot, where Right immediately catches the scent of blood matching Yuru's, alongside a handful of enemy demons. Left asks if they should launch a surprise attack and beat them down immediately, but Yuru hesitates, wondering if these enemies might be open to a peaceful discussion like Shira was. Right warns that since they spotted the enemy's spirits have undoubtedly noticed them as well. Yuru scans the area, seeing only human figures dressed entirely in black. Suddenly, an illusion of Asa appears before him. Blinded by emotion, Yuru breaks into a dead sprint toward her, completely ignoring Right's frantic warning that the scent is merely old blood designed as a trap. Before Yuru can reach the figure, a monstrous demon known as the Scavenger materializes and swallows Yuru, trapping him within its massive maw. Jin steps forward, explaining that he heard about the twins' keen sense of smell. He notes that because Yuru took the bait and reacted so strongly to Asa's scent, he has successfully confirmed Yuru's identity as her twin brother. Jin politely introduces himself, welcoming Yuru to the Shadow Realm. Back at the apartment, Hana paces back and forth in a panic, screaming that they need to locate Yuru immediately. Dara agrees, noting that the boy's complete ignorance of modern laws could result in him hurting an innocent citizen. Hana counters that she is actually terrified of Yuru himself getting injured. Dara teases her for showing such a caring side despite her vocal dislike for children. Hana angrily swats the comment away, revealing her true motive. Yuru completely lacks legal documentation, meaning he has no health insurance, which forces them to personally cover 100% of his medical bills out of pocket. Terrified of a financial disaster, Hana commands her dog Demon Jiro to catch Yuru's scent and track him down. She then deploys her cat, Demon Kotetsu, handing the feline a smartphone with a live digital tracking map. Dara watches in astonishment, commenting on how seamlessly her ancient spirits utilize modern technology, and Hana explains that living among humans for generations has allowed them to perfectly adapt. Checking the digital map, Hana gasps in horror as she realizes Jiro has already tracked Yuru all the way to Tokyo. Dara notes the boy is moving incredibly fast, concluding that the divine right and left must have flown him there with a specific dangerous purpose in mind. Back in Tokyo, Jin informs his captive that the Mori clan intended to hunt him down regardless, explaining that he anticipated an aggressive counterstrike from Higashi village and prepared this trap ahead of time. Jin's guards command Yuru's hidden spirits to reveal themselves. Left observes that the men carry no visible metal weapons, but Right warns that he senses 2 additional pairs of enemy demons lurking in the shadows. Right shrugs and manifests alongside Left, declaring that whatever happens will happen. The guards instantly threaten Yuru's life, shouting that they hold their master hostage, but the Stone Guardians ignore the threat completely. Right casually asks Left who they should capture in response, and Left points directly at Jin. Inside the creature's mouth, Yuru apologizes to his companions for losing his temper, but Left tells him to stay exactly where he is, noting that his captivity pins down Jin's most dangerous demon. Jin and his men are confused to see a spirit issuing orders to its master, noting that standard demons always prioritize a frantic rescue. Right scoffs, stating they operate entirely on their own terms. Left tells Right to hold back since the humans appear unarmed, but Jin suddenly shatters that illusion by summoning a massive array of firearms. The men open fire, but the volley of bullets bounces harmlessly off the Guardian's skin. Left compares the weapons to primitive matchlocks, and Right decides they no longer need to hold back. The panicked guards call on their ally Akio to deploy his hidden spirits. A small, agile enemy demon suddenly ambushes Right, throwing him off balance. When Right calls out for assistance, Left finds herself immobilized, groaning as a gravity-manipulating demon pins her down under a crushing weight. Seeing his protectors overwhelmed, Yuru acts quickly. Aiming carefully from inside the scavenger's mouth, he hurls Dara's stolen blade through the gaps in the teeth, striking the gravity demon with perfect precision. The disruption breaks the technique, freeing Left, who immediately smashes through the scavenger's jaws to liberate Yuru. Yuru then commands Right to extinguish the lights. Right immediately shatters every single light fixture in the parking lot, plunging the area into pitch blackness. An enemy spirit reports that Yuru's demons are retreating, leading Jin to assume they are fleeing. He confidently declares that Akio's hidden forces are waiting to intercept them, but his speech cuts short as Yuru suddenly leaps from the darkness and pins Jin to the ground. Right asks if the capture is successful, revealing Yuru has a knife pressed firmly against Jin's neck. The guards angrily ask what kind of spirits abandon their own master during a battle. Right and Left explain that their unorthodox methods do not matter as long as they secure a victory, while Yuru points out that running away to avoid total annihilation is basic survival logic. Jin concedes the point, and Right notes they would have captured him regardless. Left adds that they can easily track his scent in complete darkness, forcing Jin to realize that Yuru's isolated mountain upbringing gave him sensory skills far superior to any city dweller. Yuru demands to know if the Mori clan orchestrated the violent raid on his home village, and Jin admits he personally commanded the assault. Controlling his burning rage, Yuru points to Jin's smartphone and sternly orders him to use it to summon Asa to the parking lot immediately so they can finally speak face to face.